So this is the fourth MR of the compound. We have four different types of MR. So option is C. Which statement about the substance at room temperature and pressure is correct? This is mixture, this is solid, ionic solid, element, and covalent compound. This is diamond. W and X conducts electricity. It is incorrect because X is solid at room temperature. W can conduct but X cannot. W and Y are elements. W is element, W is mixture, and Y is element. W is a mixture, Y is an element, so it is incorrect. X and Z dissolves in water. X is ionic compound, dissolves in water. Alcohol is also soluble in water, so X and Z is correct. A piece of magnesium reacts with dilute hydrochloride. This is chemical equation, how it reacts. So solid residue of the magnesium chloride. Covalent solid is formed in this process. This is ionic solid is formed in this process. Each chlorine atom gains 2 electrons, not 1 electrons. In this process, each magnesium atom loses not 1, 2 electrons. Molecules of an element are formed during the reaction. Molecule of an element. Hydrogen is a molecule which is formed from the element. So D option is correct. Which dot and cross diagram represent carbon dioxide? So this is the because carbon has 4 electrons and it shares one pair to each oxygen atom. So that's why this option is correct. Two statements about the structure and properties of metals are given. Statement 1, metals are malleable and have high melting point. Metals have mobile electrons in their structure. Yes, it is. It has mobile electrons in structure. Both statements are correct and statement 2 explains statement 1. Statement 2 does not explain statement 1. Statement 2, this is correct, but this statement is second part is incorrect because statement 2 metals have mobile electrons in their structure which enable metals to conduct electricity. So it does not explain that metals are malleable and have high melting point. Metals are malleable because atoms are arranged in regular layers and have high melting point because metals have strong electrostatic force of attraction which require high energy to break. So that's why it is incorrect. Both statements are correct, but statement 2 does not explain. This is correct option. How many different elements are present in ammonium nitrate? Nitrogen. There are 3 different atoms are present in elements are present in ammonium nitrate. Option B is correct. So this is ionic equation for this reaction. Calcium hydroxide react with nitric acid to form calcium nitrate. This is aqueous, 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 and aqueous. Same aqueous ions on both sides are cancelled out. So calcium is same aqueous sign, so it is cancelled out, and nitrate are same on both sides. So that's why these are cancelled out. Left behind are 2 OH ion, 2 H positive, and 2 water molecule. This is aqueous liquid. So 2 is common, so we will cancel these common factor having OH negative, so that's why this option is correct. The relative molecular mass MR of liquid Z is 60, contain 40% carbon, 40% carbon, hydrogen is 6.70 and oxygen is 53.3 divided by 16 divided by 1 divided by 12. So we have moles 40 divided by 12 is equal to 3.33, 6.70 and 53.3 divided by 16. So this is equal to 3.33 3.33. So 3.33, 3.33 and 3.33. This is equal to 1, this is equal to 2, and this is equal to 1. The formula is CH2O. Okay. Which row shows the correct empirical and molecular formula of Z? CH2, Z is 60, Mr is 60. So we have CH2O, formula is CH2O. So by calculating molecular formula, we can find out number of moles. Mr is Mr divided by empirical formula mass. Empirical formula mass is 12 plus 2 plus 16. 12 to 14 or 16, 30. Mr over Mr of empirical formula. Mr is 60 divided by 30. N is equal to 2. And molecular formula is equal to N multiplied by empirical formula. N is 2, empirical formula is CH2O. This is equal to C2H4O2. So B option is correct. How many tons of aluminum oxide are required to produce 27 aluminium? 27 tons of aluminium. How many tons of aluminum oxide are required to produce Al2O3 aluminium plus oxygen? 3O2, this is 2, and aluminium would be 4. So 27 tons of aluminium oxide. How many tons of aluminum oxide are required? First calculate the moles of aluminium. 27 divided by 27. This is equal to 1 mole. Mass over our mole ratio is aluminium oxide ratio aluminium 4:2 and 1:x. X is equal to 2 divided by 4. So this is 0.5 tons, and aluminum mole is 0.5. Now mass of aluminium is 0.5 mole into Mr. Aluminium 27 into 2 plus 48. This is 22. 27 2s are 27 into 2 is equal to 54 plus 48. 102. 0.5 into 102 is equal to 51. B option is correct. Lead 2 bromide is electrolyzed using inert electrode. Which statement is correct? A brown gas is seen at the lead bromide PbBr2 Pb to Br negative. At anode, 2Br negative to form Br2 plus 2 electron. Cathode, Pb plus 2 electron to form Pb molten. So a brown gas is seen at the positive electrode. Brown gas is seen at the positive. Yes, this is correct, because bromine color is brown, so brown fumes can be seen around the anode, around the positive electrode. So this is correct. Electron pass through the solution from one electrode to the other. Electrons pass through wires, not solution, so this is incorrect. Ions passes through the circuit from one electrode to the other. Ions pass through the solution, while electrons travel through the circuit from one electrode to the other. The lead-2 ions are oxidized, lead-2 ions are reduced. So A option is correct. Complex compound X is sodium iodide, compound Y is methyl methanoate. At room temperature and pressure, sodium iodide is solid. Sodium iodide X solid in aqueous solution, HCO2 CH3. In aqueous solutions 2, both X and Y conducts electricity. HCO2, this is ester. The ester cannot conduct electricity, only X. In aqueous solution, X electricity. Solid, in aqueous solution, X electricity, which word correctly complete gaps 1 and 2. Both X and Y, only X. And both X and Y, this is incorrect, this is correct. So D option is correct option. For the forward reaction of reversible reaction, the enthalpy change of reaction delta H is minus 50 kilojoule and the activation energy is plus 60 kilojoule. What is the activation energy of the reverse reaction? Forward reaction is reversible, the enthalpy change of reaction delta H is negative. It means this is exothermic. Forward is this is minus 50 kilojoule. So minus 50 and activation energy is 60. So what is the activation energy of the reverse reaction? So this is if reverse reaction like this. So this is activation energy for reverse reaction. So 60 plus 60 plus 50 is equal to, this is plus 50 and now 60 plus 50 is 110 kilojoule per mole is correct option. The diagram shows a titration experiment. Which row about the reaction in the conical flask is correct? This is an acid, this is an alkali. The reaction is the value of delta H. Sodium hydroxide, reaction of sodium hydroxide plus acid is exothermic reaction. exothermic, and the delta H is negative. So C option is correct. Sulfur dioxide reacts with oxygen in the air. The reaction is very slow if no catalyst is present. Which statement explains this? Air contains only 21% oxygen, so there is not enough oxygen for all the sulfur uh, dioxide to react. 20 there is not enough oxygen for all the sulfur dioxide to react. Only a small proportion of the sulfur dioxide and oxygen molecules have enough energy to react even at high temperature. Yes, this option is correct. At air contains there is not enough. There is enough oxygen for all sulfur dioxide to react. So this is incorrect. Only a small proportion of sulfur dioxide and oxygen molecules have enough energy to react even at high temperature. The reaction is exothermic, and so at high temperature the equilibrium shifts to the left. The reaction is exothermic, and so at high temperature the equilibrium shifts to the left. The reaction is reversible, and so products turn back to reactant. This happens more quickly at high temperature. If the reaction is very slow if no catalyst is present. So high temperature is a compromising temperature for this reaction, so that's why reaction shift towards right. The reaction is reversible, so products turn back to reactant. This happens more quickly at high temperature. At 450 degrees centigrade is feasible temperature for this reaction, so that why reaction is very slow if no catalyst is used is present at this temperature. So that's why reaction is reversible, so turn back to reaction. This happens more quickly, no, not at high temperature. So this is compromising temperature along with vanadium 5 oxide. So B option is correct option. Which statement is correct? An enzyme is biological catalyst that decreases the activation energy. Enzyme is a biological catalyst that decreases the, yes, enzyme is a biological catalyst which lowers the activation energy of a carbon. An enzyme is biological catalyst that increases the activation energy, not increases, decreases. Enzyme is compound of a transition metal. No, enzyme is living proteinaceous in nature, so that's why not transition elements. Enzyme is a compound of, no. So A option is correct. Nitrogen dioxide is a dark brown gas that decomposes as shown in the reaction. The diagram shows a glass flask containing a mixture of the three gases. The mixture is pale brown. More oxygen is forced into the flask. Which color change is seen in the mixture? Which color change is seen in the mixture? It becomes darker brown because more oxygen is forced into the flask, so that's why mixtures turn brown. Mixture is pale brown. The diagram shows nitrogen when more oxygen is forced into the flask, then reaction will shift backward or left hand side to the side where there is low concentration. So that's why mixture is darker brown. A option is correct. Concentrated hydrochloric acid is oxidized manganese 4 oxide. What are the two products of this reaction? Concentrated high is oxidized by manganese peroxide is oxidized by what are the two products of this reaction? MnO2 plus HCl. H2O minus 2 plus 4 and plus 2 and minus 1 plus 1 minus 1. So what are the two products of this reaction? Mn2 plus and Cl minus. The table gives some information about 4 redox reaction. Which row gives correct information about what is oxidized and the evidence that this is oxidation? Copper 2 oxide carbon. Which row correct information about what is oxidized and evidence? Copper is reduced. Copper oxide has been evidence for this reaction. Copper oxide has given oxygen to carbon, so that's why copper is reduced. Copper is not oxidized. Sodium is 0, sodium over here plus, so sodium is oxidized, chlorine is reduced. Sodium has lost electron, so B option is correct. Nitrogen is reduced minus hydrogen 0 plus, so nitrogen is reduced, so that's why it is incorrect. Zinc nitrate and magnesium. Zinc is reduced, magnesium is 2 plus, losing 2 electron is oxidized, and zinc is over here 2 plus. Zinc is reduced and magnesium is oxidized. Which statement about acids and bases is correct? All strong acids react with carbonates, but all weak acids do not. All strong acid reacts with but all weak acid. This is incorrect. Weak acid also react with the carbonates. The oxides of group 1 metals are amphoteric, basic, so it is incorrect. The pH of 1 mole per dm cube ethanoic acid is higher than the pH of 1 mole of sulfuric acid. It is weak acid, so pH of weak acid is lower, is higher than that of the 1 mole of sulfuric acid. Yes, this option must be correct because pH of ethanoic acid is 3 while sulfuric acid is 1, so it is lower than this. So C option is correct. Some types of chemical reactions are acid base combustion, redox. Which type of reaction occurs in blast furnace during the redox oxidation of extraction of iron? Acid base reaction, combustion as well, and redox. Combustion is like carbon react with oxygen is example of combustion. Acid base reaction, silica plus calcium oxide is calcium silicate. This is acid base reaction, and this is also redox reaction, carbon dioxide plus carbon to form carbon monoxide. And second redox reaction is Fe2O3 plus CO to form iron. This is also redox, CO2. So this option is correct. Which method should be used to make a pure sample of potassium chloride? AgCl, and potassium chloride is group 1 salt, so it is formed by reacting potassium hydroxide plus HCl to form water. So this option is correct. A pure sample of lead sulfate is made by reacting aqueous solutions of two salts. Pure sample of lead sulfate is insoluble salt by reacting two aqueous solution of two salts. So the option is lead 2 chloride is insoluble, sodium sulfate is soluble. So both aqueous, both should be aqueous, so it is incorrect. Lead 2 chloride is solid, this is aqueous, so it is also incorrect. Lead nitrate is aqueous, potassium sulfate is aqueous, so this is not crystallization. Lead, because lead 2 nitrate and potassium sulfate both are aqueous to form lead sulfate, lead nitrate and potassium sulfate. Aqueous, aqueous and filtration, because lead 2 nitrate PbSO4, which is solid, plus potassium nitrate is aqueous. So lead sulfate is separated from this solution by using filtration. D option is correct. Which statement is correct? Food can be preserved by using sulfur dioxide. Yes, this is one of the use of sulfur dioxide. Food can be preserved by using sulfur dioxide. And in the contact process, oxygen reacts with sulfur to make sulfur known. Sulfur oxygen react with sulfur to form sulfur dioxide. Incorrect. Sulfur dioxide is used to kill bacteria present in wood pulp. It bleach the wood pulp, not kill the bacteria. It is used to bleach the wood pulp. Is used no. Element Y is in the period of the periodic table. Period 3, it forms a chloride that is liquid at room temperature. Y is in period 3 of the it forms a chloride. Okay. Y is in period 3 of the periodic table. It forms a chloride that is liquid at room temperature and pressure. Which row shows correct information about the group number and the nature of the oxide of element Y? It forms a chloride that is liquid. And which row shows period 3? Chloride SiCl4 is liquid, and its oxide is group number and nature of the oxide of the element Y. It is acidic oxide. This is liquid. Group number 4, silicon is present, group 4. Silica is amphoteric. Group number 4, group number 6. Sorry. Y is in period 3 of the periodic table. It forms a chloride that is liquid at room temperature and pressure. Which row shows correct information about the group number and the nature of the oxide of the element Y? Period 3. Period 3 is sodium, magnesium, aluminum, and silicon, phosphorus, sulfur. silicon, phosphorus and sulfur. Four is amphoteric is incorrect. 4 is correct. Silicon is also exist in liquid state. So S2Cl2 liquid and SO2 is acidic, group 6. SiO2 is SiCl4 is also liquid, but its oxide is acidic, so that's why C option is incorrect. Which gases are used in light bulbs? Argon, oxygen, neon. Okay, argon is only used in light bulbs. Argon, oxygen is also, neon is advertising lights use hoगी. So argon is also used, C1 and 3. Oxygen not used. Neon advertising light, and this is in bulbs. C option is correct. Question number 32. The carbon and the metal WXY are heated and the results are shown. Color of the metal carbonate gas given off turns lime water cloudy color after heating. White, yes, turns lime water milky. Yellow when hot, white when cold. This is zinc oxide. X green, this is for iron, and carbon dioxide, yes, and FeO. The experiment results white, no, wrong, no change. Okay, which statements are correct? The carbonates of W and X given off carbon dioxide on heating. Carbonates of W and X given off carbon dioxide on heating. Yes, W and X given off heating. This is correct statement. Metal X and Y are less reactive than metal W. X, Y are less reactive. No. X is transition metal and zinc is also transition, but zinc is more reactive than iron. X and Y are less reactive than W. No change means this is white oxide, no gas is given off, this is stable to heat, that is group 1. X could be copper. X could be copper, yes. Iron, copper 2 carbonate is green in color, yes. CuCO3. So 1 and 3 is correct. The diagram shows an experiment to determine the percentage of oxygen in air. Bell jar, light, lit candle, water. Which diagram shows the correct level of water? Because oxygen is used up during lighting the candle, so that's why all oxygen is used up and vacuum is developed. So the gas, water is moving, water is rising in this jar. See, the water level is same, so that's why. Water level down, so that's why it's incorrect. Water level is too high, so that's why it is also incorrect. Two statements are given. Percentage of carbon by mass is greater in methane than in butane. Carbon, methane carbon 1 and butane में carbon 4. Butane is one of two isomers with the molecular formula C4H10. State which statements are correct? Butane is one of two isomers with the molecular formula. This is incorrect statement. And yes, it has two, is one of two isomers with the molecular formula C4H10. This is correct. Both statement 1 and 2 is incorrect. Statement 1 only. No. Statement 2 is correct. This is incorrect statement because biomass is greater in methane is lower than the butane. 1 mole of each of compound shown is completely combusted. How many of the compounds need exactly 9 moles of oxygen for complete combustion? How many of the compounds? Carbon dioxide plus water, 5 carbon, 12, 6, and 5 to the 10 and 16, 16, 5 to the 10, 9 moles of oxygen, 5 to the 10, 10 or 6, 10 or 16, so 2C5H12 by multiplying 2, O2 plus 10 CO2 to form plus 6 12 H2O, 12 and 10 22, and 22. This is 2 oxygen, and 10 to the 20 plus 22. So this is 10. This is incorrect. Now C6H12 plus oxygen, CO2 plus H2O, 6 carbon, 6 and 6 to the 12, and 12 or 6, 18, 9 to the 18. This is 1, and C6H14 plus oxygen, CO2 plus water, 7 and 6, 6 to the 12, 12 and 7, 19. So this is incorrect. C614, 6 to the 12, 12 and 7, 19, 14 H2O plus 12 CO2, and C6H14, 12 plus 14, 12, 12 to the 24, 14. So this is also incorrect. C6H14O plus O2, carbon dioxide plus water, 7 and 6, 6 to the 12, 12 or 7, 19, 9 moles, 9 to the 18 and 119. So this option is correct. The reactants and products of two reactions are shown. Reaction 1, C3H6 plus water to form X. Reaction 2, X plus O2 to form carbon dioxide and water. Which row correctly describes these two reactions? C3H6 plus water is equal to X. Which row correctly describes these two reactions? C3H6 plus water to form C3H7OH, propanol and CO2H2, carbon dioxide, and identity of compound X. Compound X is propanol, and reaction to C3H7OH plus oxygen to form carbon dioxide and water. So this is propanol, heat and a catalyst, propanol plus oxygen, propanol heat is evolved. Which row correctly describes these two reactions? Heat and catalyst, carbon dioxide, water, and combustion reaction. Reaction 2 is combustion, and in this heat is catalyst, heat and catalyst H3PO4, and temperature is required over here 300 degrees centigrade. So D option is correct. 37. Which statement about carboxylic acid is correct? All carboxylic acid include the group. Yes. Ethanoic acid react with both copper 2 oxide and copper. Methanoic acid formed by bacteria. Bacterial oxidation is present in methanoic acid formed by ethanoic acid is formed. So that's why it is incorrect. Propanoic acid decolorizes acidified potassium manganate. No. Propanol decolorizes acidified. The structure of ester is shown. What is the name of this ester? This is the part of alcohol. This is propanol, which will become propyl. This is part of acid. This is butanoic acid, which will become butanoate. So the propyl butanoate. C option is correct. Polyethylene is formed by addition polymerization, the formation of nylon and terylene are examples of condensation polymerization. Protein contains the same amide linkage as nylon. Fat contains the same ester linkage as terylene. On hydrolysis, proteins form amino acid. First is addition, second is condensation, third is amide, fourth is ester, fifth is amino acid. So A option is correct. The repeat unit of polymer is shown. Which monomer would produce this polymer? Which monomer would produce this polymer? CH3HCl, CH3H, BrCl. This option does not matter that whether bromine is CH3 is present on this side. It does not matter. So it must be present with this carbon atom. It must be bonded with this matter. It doesn't matter that CH3 place above or hydrogen place below. So A option must be correct. Hopefully you got it, guys. Please watch carefully. If you have any problem, ask the questions, ask your queries in comment box.